What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about the key to building strong relationships, the key to maintaining relationships, the key to just building situationships even, right? People always wonder about what happened, why things don't work out. And people normally, when things don't work out, immediately go to, well, we weren't compatible. We weren't compatible. We weren't compatible. When sometimes it's true, but it's also not true. We often hear that the key to a good relationship is communication, right? We get this all the time. We hear this ad nauseum, right? Communication is key. Communication is key. Communication is key. I'm sure there's t-shirts made out of it with little keys on them and shit, talking mouths and stuff. People have been saying that for a while. When I don't believe this is actually true. And I think that conventional wisdom is changing, right? It's trending now to speak about something that is actually a little bit more valuable than communication. And I've been telling people this for years. Communication isn't key. Comprehension is key. Sometimes you can communicate perfectly. I've met a lot of great communicators in coaching over 4,000 women. Amazing communicators. And sometimes I stop and I'm like, damn, I have to compliment and won't listen. You are an amazing communicator. I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly where you are. I know exactly what you intend right now in this moment. A lot of people can't say that. So that is a skill set. So communication is a key, but comprehension is the key. Because if the target of your message, if the target of your language or your words doesn't receive them as intended, then they aren't comprehending them. And while many of us are good communicators, the people we communicate to are not equipped, don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to understand what we're talking about and what we're trying to get across. Listen, you can talk until you're blue in the face to a person who doesn't understand you. Okay? It's not going to result in an understanding, right? Because they don't comprehend, right? And if you're a good communicator, you can practice all the tools, all the tricks to making sure that you have all the difficult conversation skills. But some people just don't understand things that don't match with what they already feel or think. They don't want to. Many people are committed to their misunderstanding because therein is their validation. Right? If I let go of my understanding, then I have to admit I misunderstood. I have to admit I was wrong. I have to admit I messed up. I have to admit I didn't make the right assumption about a thing. And that's hard. It's hard for people to admit they're wrong and correct themselves. So instead, they commit to their misunderstanding. So you can be a great communicator. You can talk to your blue in the face and you won't get anywhere with these people because intrinsically, from the depths of who they are, they have difficulty accepting correction and correcting themselves. So their comprehension will be off. Some people's reality, their paradigm has been shaped by experiences and thoughts and ideas opposite that of which you bring. So they can't comprehend what you're talking about because it's foreign to them. It doesn't appear to be real. That's why a lot of people watch my videos and then leave nasty comments because they can't comprehend what I'm saying. These ideas are too big, too complex, or too foreign to them and their experience. I heard somebody say this once when I was a teenager and it stuck with me. They told someone, I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. I think my cousin James was talking to one of the women that he talked to. He likes his women and they seem to like him. And he's more of a pimp and a gorilla than a nice guy. And so he was talking to a woman who had made some mistake and he told her, I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. And I was like, damn, that was gangster shit right there. But it was true. It made so much sense. He was speaking specifically about comprehension. Right? I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. A lot of times you'll see me say something like that in the comment section when somebody's so off base with their return comment to one of my videos. I'll tell them, listen, I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's your job, right? I did my job. I communicated it. And sometimes I don't communicate efficiently. I can admit to not making my points well enough in my videos. That's why sometimes videos are full of extra points on the side, extra subtitles, because I want you to fully understand. And maybe I didn't say it in the moment when I was in my car just rambling, but it needed to be said or needed to be added to the video. I can admit communicating inefficiently. Can you admit to misunderstanding? Can your partner admit to misunderstanding? I know amazing communicators with partners who don't comprehend shit, who don't understand anything. They have terrible toxic relationships. Every word, every disagreement ends in an argument or a fight because they're talking to someone who doesn't comprehend. The biggest red flag in any relationship is when you realize that your partner isn't willing to self-correct and doesn't comprehend. Those things create a toxic relationship, and those things make you incompatible. A great communicator with someone who doesn't comprehend, that's a mismatch. So a huge red flag, one of the biggest red flags that you can possibly see early on, is a person who doesn't comprehend. When you see a person who doesn't comprehend and who isn't willing to address that portion of themselves, that flaw in themselves, you need to move on, because this is going to be a very difficult relationship, talking to a wall, talking to an inanimate object, talking to someone who doesn't receive new information. The same goes for me as a YouTuber. I go in the comment section and I'm getting cursed out. I'm getting told off by people who completely misunderstood my point. Last week I talked about, plastic surgery. And there were a few people who thought that I was downing women with plastic surgery. Nothing I said in the video was actually derogatory or demeaning to women with plastic surgery. That was never the intention. The intention was to inform women about the fears and reserves that a man has when he sees or seriously considers a woman who has had extensive plastic surgery, right? That was the context, all right? That was the context. And a lot of people thought, or not a lot of people, but a couple of people thought I was just saying any woman who's had anything done cosmetically deserves to be judged in these ways. And that was clearly not what I was doing. But some people won't comprehend your intention. They won't comprehend your words or your message right. Everybody experiences this. Again, I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's your job. As a YouTuber, as an influencer or a creator, we get this a lot. We talk for a living. So people understand and misunderstand us, as often as we open our mouths. It's very important for us to make peace with the fact that everyone won't like our message, and everyone won't even dislike what we say for the right reasons. They'll just misunderstand it and then hate us or hate the message or dislike our message for the misunderstanding. Right. And that's why I always say, you'll see this in the comments too, context matters. I say that every day. I type context matters somewhere in the comment section, maybe on Instagram, a lot of times on YouTube or even Facebook. Context matters. You can't just make up another context and start yelling at me about how I'm wrong because this other context exists. Of course, there are other ways to look at a situation, other angles, but are we talking about that right now? What are we talking about right now? A lot of us want to be better and show up better in relationships, and we have to be honest about what our flaws and what our weaknesses are. Some of us aren't great communicators. So if you're watching this and you know that, please try to become a better communicator. Read communication books. There are a lot of communication books about how to get your point across, have difficult conversations, crucial conversations, all of those things. Start applying more tact to how you give your message and how you express your feelings and emotions and thoughts and ideas. But then there are some of us who want to be better. And so our goal should be to comprehend better, right? To slow ourselves down, to stop our biases from taking over our way of thinking when we're receiving a message, because the speaker probably doesn't have the same biases that we have. We can't filter everything through our biases or through our opinions or through our emotions. We have to receive the message as intended by the sender. And that requires great comprehension, not a commitment to that which we already comprehend. So comprehension is key. Not necessarily communication. They're both equally important. You can communicate, but without comprehension, you're speaking different languages. Again, I can tell it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Anyway, I hope that helps. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. Please check out the Fatherhood Village. If you know a man that needs masculinity, if you know a man that needs fatherhood advice, if you know a man that needs mentorship, if you know a man that just wants to make sure that he's having deeper conversations about what manhood really is outside of banging a bunch of women and being high value and making money. If you want to teach a young man or encourage a young man to see the value in his real masculinity and his real growth, check out the Fatherhood Village and share those videos. Even if they're not for you, a lot of these conversations can help a lot of young men and even a lot of older men who are trying to sift through where they are in their lives and what that means for them. So it's about fatherhood, it's about parenthood, it's about manhood, it's about masculinity, and it's a channel that's going to help a lot of men if we can get this channel to go viral, or at least get this channel in the hands of the right people, so that the men who are willing to improve, who do want to evolve in positive ways that don't hurt women, can join our village of men who feel the same way about those things as we do. So go check out the Fatherhood Village channel. On my homepage, next to my other channels tab, there's a link to the Fatherhood Village channel. Anyway, thanks for listening. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.